Are we on there?
Yes.
Okay, it's a regularly scheduled meeting of the finance committee. It's Monday, March 18th at 5:34. Members of the Council Tremble of the committee. We also have Councilor Dean, Councilor Yakubaka, Councilor Fournier, and members not on the committee, Councilor Fish, Councilor Pelletier, and Councilor Schaefer. Did I get that right? Okay, we just had bids tonight, so first bid, Dan?
First bid is for ortho imagery. This is a flyover of the city used for our GIS system and to calculate the amount of impervious surface for the stormwater billing that we do. We do this on a regular interval, about every 5 years or so that we do this. We did budget for it in the 24 budget. We budgeted 75,000. We went out to bid, received 4 bids that range from 68,230 to 141,100. The low bidder was NV5 Geospatial Inc. We did check the references, interviewed some representatives from the company. We're satisfied with what we heard and talking with them. So staff recommendation is to move forward with NV5 Geospatial. Where they were under the budgeted amount, staff requested a few additional services that would bring the final price to $74,380. If this is approved tonight, we anticipate the flyover will probably happen sometime in April. So we're looking for approval to move forward with the contract with NV5 Geospatial.
Any questions or motion?
Motion.
Second.
Moving second. The only caveat I would say is I would check before we proceed with this company. I would just check with the county because the county has done similar work and it may be available to us to get that imaging already.
Right, we have.
They used to have that.
We have joined with the county or with
Right.
other groups in the
Yeah.
past. Do you have a full answer you want to come
They
up?
might have stopped doing it.
Yeah, I can speak a little bit. I'm Will Harper, I'm the GIS administrator. So, the state has an ortho imagery program that they were running every 5 years, and counties were able to participate in that, allowing cities like Bangor to
Right.
buy higher resolution imagery. That program expired last year, so they're currently renewing it, and they're expecting the next flyover to be in 2027. So we are unfortunately in the middle of a gap of that sort of coverage. But yeah, we would expect in 2027 to possibly participate in that program again.
Right. All right, second, without any objection, this item has approval.
Thank you. Thank you, Will. Our next item is a forestry chipper for Public Works. We did go out to bid for the chipper. We received 3 responses. Our recommendation is to go with United AG and Turf. They were, if you look on the bid tab, they were the second bidder at 95,900. But their bid included various options that staff looked into. We didn't really need aluminum rims on the forestry chipper, so they swapped out a few of the details, which brought the cost of that chipper to $94,255. We budgeted $90,000 for it. The difference would just be covered under their operating budget. They did look at that one specifically because that was a Bandit model. And our Public Works and our staff, think that is the better model to use. So they focused on that one, and that is their recommendation, is to move forward with United AG and Turf for a 2024 Bandit forestry chipper, for a total price of $94,255.
Any questions or motion this time, Councilor Fournier?
Quick question, you don't need it right away, I take it, the chipper?
No,
No,
no.
urgently, I'll make a motion.
Moved and
Second.
seconded, without any objection, this has approval.
Our next item is the street paving bid. As some councilors may remember, last year we typically went out to bid on a fiscal year cycle. That kind of put us behind by the time we got out to bid, get awarded. We were late in the season to get most, paving done. So last year we switched and modified to a calendar year basis. So we went out to bid earlier this year. We did receive, 5 bids for, paving. The low bidder being B&B Paving, at $1,518,000. Talking with, B&B, our recommendation is to go with them as the low bidder. We have experience with them. And we have no real issues with their work product. But they, threw out to us that, they would be willing to lock in the price if we switched it to a 2-year contract instead of a 1-year contract. We typically go out to bid each year for paving, but locking in at 1.5, which is significantly less than what bids have been in the past few years, we thought was pretty good. So our recommendation is to lock into a 2-year contract with B&B Paving, locked in at the 1.5 million. And if approved, this would go to full council next week for final approval.
Council Forney,
So we have this paving contract for 2 years, and we just did the airport for 2 years, where we locked in the pricing. Why are they doing that? You have any idea?
It's with B&B Paving, it was their supplier. Their supplier was willing to lock in B&B's price if they could guarantee certain quantities. And they can guarantee those quantities if they lock in with us on a 2-year basis. So they're saving money from their supplier. We're saving money. And, that's, at least it looks like we're gonna save money compared to the last few years of paving contracts.
Usually.
And Aaron can add more from,
This was actually a reduction over their previous year contract reduction price. And what their hope is that number one, they talked with the supplier, they can lock in pricing. But number two, the travel costs have been excessive. This allows them to stay right close to home. So they wanna continue to have our business, and that's why they reduced the price. I have not heard another municipality getting a $700 price on asphalt per ton.
That makes more sense to travel, but it makes a lot more sense. I'll make that motion.
move and
Second.
second, and I would just add that I think it's great to see that number of bids. We haven't had those bids in the past
Mhm.
few years. And also, I think the high bidder out of the 5 bids is they're usually the successful bidder, so it was nice to see the number of bids involved. So without any objection, this will have a recommendation of the council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
our next item is for fire suppression testing and inspections at the airport. We did go out to bid for this. We only received one reply from Maine Fire Protection Systems. This is a 3-year contract that covers multiple buildings and areas at the airport. The year 1 cost would be $73,558. It is a 3-year contract. Over the course of the 3 years, it's $217,484. But this is budgeted annually as part of the airport's operating budget. The number is within what they have available. So the recommendation is to move forward with a 3-year contract with Maine Fire Protection Systems for fire suppression testing and inspection services at the airport.
Council Forney,
Motion to approve.
Second.
moved and second, without any objection, this will have approval. Thank you.
Thank you. And our last item tonight is public restrooms. We did go out to bid for the public restrooms. The council has talked about this for a number of times at various meetings. This was the bid piece. We received 2 bids back. One was deemed non-responsive because what they proposed was not what we asked for in the RFP specs. So the sole bidder that complied with the specs that we requested was Facility and Construction Services out of Old Town. They proposed a cost of $14,400 per unit for up to 6 units, which would be a total of $86,400. Staff met with them at their facility in Old Town. And staff was convinced that they have the capability of being able to complete these units in a manner that we are looking for. And they have completed a variety of contracting services. So based upon their conversations with the company and going on what the council has been looking for priorities in relation to this, the recommendation is to move forward with Facility and Contracting Services of Old Town to fabricate up to 6 public restrooms at a cost of $14,400 per unit.
Any questions, Council Fornia?
So this is for the actual, not the concrete,
Right, this is for the unit
just for
itself.
the standalone. And it's made of steel?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh, Tracy is here. Wasn't sure if he was on. So Tracy Willett is on by Zoom. If there's any additional questions, I may not be able to answer.
Council
Yeah,
Yaku, I'm sorry.
The only other question I had was, who did it for Portland? Do we know?
it was a fabricated, Tracy Willett, the Parks and Recreation Director. It was a fabrication, steel fabrication company, I believe in Saco. I can't remember the exact name of the company, but they were based in Saco.
And what was their price? Do you have any idea?
I want to say they're in the neighborhood of between 20 and 25,000. So they were a little bit more expensive. And that was the estimate they had initially us as far as a per unit cost.
All right, thank you.
Council Yaku.
Tracy, I have a question, please. So, can you tell us about the experience, of having those metal stainless steel, units in Portland? Because we heard comments about, oh, when it's hot, you know, it's gonna be sizzling hot. So have you heard any comments from Portland people about this issue?
I have not heard about that issue specifically. The only comments that we've received is that they seem to be serving the need down there, but not because of the ventilation that we've asked for, and they did as well in these units. It should allow for that air circulation and circulation, especially in the summertime. So we'll try these out, see how they work, and hopefully they serve the need.
Good, thank you. Yeah, I'm supportive. It's just those comments. I want people to hear your, you know, your feedback about what Portland, you know, has done. Thank you.
Fish?
How many, do we know how many units Portland has?
Exactly, I don't. I believe there's a neighborhood about 20 units around the city, but I don't know an exact number off the top of my head.
Thank you.
All right, is there a motion on this item?
Motion?
Moved and second, and without any objection, this says approval. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
City
so,
Manager?
yeah, so you approved the bid, so I just want to circle back. Obviously, when we began having the conversation about placing public restrooms within the community, there were a lot of questions, a lot of concerns raised. We did share that we would do a series of public meetings. Those public meetings are going to be starting next week. So on Wednesday, it is likely you will start seeing a public notice regarding public meetings for restrooms. We did keep the email contacts of everybody who reached out to us. Everyone will be made aware of this. We are spreading them out through the city. So we have an east side, a west side, and a downtown location. And Tracy and David Warren out of our office are working together to put together sort of just a bullet point of overview of why public bathrooms, what's the purpose, where are public restrooms currently available, talk about some of the thoughts that we have behind final placements, and gather that community feedback. But by going ahead and awarding the bid tonight, it allows us to begin construction, because obviously there will be a lead time for that. And just as a reminder, these units, when final placements are chosen, we're going to try them. If it doesn't work well in a location, we can remove it. It's okay. You think of something being constructed like it's never going to be moved, and that's not the case. And Tracy's been working on a complete maintenance plan, because maintenance issues come up quite a bit. And we're going to give this a try. We do think that because they don't go flat to the ground, to Tracy's point of ventilation, we're also going to be able to make sure that people are okay and not, you know, hanging out all day. So I just wanted to make that clear. You will see some of that information come out, likely on Wednesday.
Sounds good.
That concludes the Finance Committee. Thank you very much. Council Fornia?
So the countdown is 9 days for the audit. We knew that was coming.
Yes, I knew that. I had a discussion with the auditors today. It is in process. There was a couple of hangups related to getting some school information. We're working through that. We talked with the auditors. What we anticipate doing is they will not have time to review a complete set before the end of the month. So we're going to issue unaudited financial statements for our bond bank. I talked to the bond attorney. They said that's fully acceptable. And we will issue final financial statements next month. Not sure exactly what date that is, but the auditors are sending me some additional information today. They found a couple of late entries that relate to the opioid settlement and how that now needs to be recorded. So we had to do some prior period adjustments and get those worked in. So we're working through those, and I'll be sending them a bunch of stuff tomorrow for them to start going through and making sure that anything that's outstanding, they have information on.
So I know you don't have a timeline.
I don't have a timeline because
Middle of next month or?
I would anticipate that, yes, it's eventually they will have a complete set of stuff from us
Yeah.
within the next,
Yeah.
before the end of the month.
Yeah.
Then it's gonna fall onto them as to how long it takes
Right.
their staffing to go through and review it, get it back to us to fix any things that they may need to be fixed, and then do a final review. Sometimes they can do that in a couple of weeks, sometimes it takes them more than that.
Yeah. Rough time of year. Yep.
Yeah, we ran into some unfortunate obstacles this year, but we're I think we're close. But I gotta review what we talked about today with the auditors and see how much of an impact and how much that changes various statements, because sometimes one change will change 9 pages
Right.
and gotta make sure everything flows through.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.